Hello everyone, today I'm here at Los Angeles International Airport and I'll be spending the next 11 and a half hours in Singapore Airlines business class on their Boeing 777 to Tokyo. Make sure to keep on watching to see how I booked this incredibly low fare. Also, make sure to subscribe for more flight reviews because hint hint, more are coming. And now, let's check out the lounge. Here we are, this is the Star Alliance Lounge, which we have access to with Singapore Airlines business class. So come on, let's take a look inside. Right when we enter the lounge, we have the dining room as well as just a general area off to our left. And then behind me, we have the outdoor patio. So come on, let's check that out. This is the outdoor patio area. This patio overlooks the busy terminal and there's just plenty of seats as well as small tables here. So you can just kind of sit, enjoy your food and relax and take in the views of the terminal. Right behind me, we have the main buffet area for the lounge and more on that later. And just past the buffet, we have a really cool outdoor area that overlooks the tarmac. So let's see what that looks like. Right out here we have some open air patio seating, and honestly right now is the perfect temperature. It's overcast, so it's not too warm, not too cold, and if it is cold, they have a fire pit right there. And listen to this, we're so close to the runway, I can just hear all the planes flying overhead right now. As we continue walking ahead, right here they have this cool outdoor waterfall as well as a couple of small bamboo. Right out here we can see some of the planes that are in the gate area. Unfortunately, there aren't any really great views of the runway. However, if we come out a little bit farther and we zoom in a little bit, you can see just the very edge of the runway at least. This is a really unique area of the lounge to relax at. I've never been to a lounge with an outdoor viewing area, so I could definitely spend some time sitting out here as an aviation geek, just watching all the planes and traffic go by. Now that we've seen most of the lounge, let's check out the buffet. I believe right now they still have a little bit of breakfast food, and I think we should still be here at lunchtime as well. Right here is the breakfast buffet, and it looks like we have a variety of options. Right here we have some hot food. It looks like we have a little bit of bacon as well as eggs. Off to the right we have our drinks. We got juice, milk, and plenty of glasses. Of course you gotta have your bread and pastry section, so we have muffins as well as sliced toast, and we also have some more muffins over here. And then in this little area you have some fruit salad as well as some hard-boiled eggs. And right here they have a toaster as well for the bread. Right here in the back corner we have the noodle bar, which is very popular as you can see, so it's definitely a place you can't miss out on since it's kind of hidden away. I'll be honest, the food at this lounge is very underwhelming, and honestly that's what I expected because that's what I heard. Their breakfast selection was very minimal. I feel like they just had the basics and then they had the noodle bar and that was pretty much it. I just decided to forego the breakfast food completely and went straight to the noodle bar, so I decided to get their wheat noodles in their mushroom broth. They only have 3 broths. They have the mushroom broth, the vegetable broth, and the chicken pho. So I just decided to go for the mushroom broth since it looked good, and so far it does look promising since it smells pretty nice. I definitely smell the umami scent of the mushrooms. However, when I took the noodles out of their own separate container, they already looked pretty soggy even before adding it to the broth. Let's give our mushroom broth a taste. You know, I'll be honest, the broth is just alright. It just tastes very salty, but in terms of flavor, it just has a very mild mushroom flavor, and to be honest, it almost just tastes like a mushroom stock, so it's honestly not that flavorful. But now I'm gonna go for a bite of the noodles. I'll be honest, I'm kind of underwhelmed by the noodles as well. As I anticipated, they are quite soggy, because like I said, they store the noodles and soup separately, and the noodles were already soggy before you add the soup. So once you add the soup, it just becomes kind of like a mushy sponge. And I'll be honest, the flavor is not bad, it's just not really my thing. So overall, what do I think about the food at Star Alliance Lounge? I would say honestly, if you just want to try it, go ahead, but do not fill up because I already know the food on a Singapore Airlines flight is going to be much better. I also forgot to mention that here at the Star Alliance Lounge, they also have shower suites, which you will need to reserve, and I think that might be pretty difficult since it seems like it's always very busy here. I mean, right now, the lounge is packed, and it was actually pretty hard to find a table, and also they have a media room where you can watch TV, and that is an area that's actually not too crowded. It's basically like a dark room with a large TV, and there's only a couple of people in there earlier. So overall, what are my thoughts on the Star Alliance Lounge? In my opinion, it's just alright. I mean, the food is not really there, however, the vibes are pretty good. I love this outdoor area because it's kind of cool to look inside the terminal and just see everyone going about their busy travel day. And then they also had the outdoor area earlier, which I enjoyed, where you can see a little bit of the planes. I also want to mention that the check-in desk with Singapore was really great just before security. I was able to check in early and drop off my bags, which was really nice. They opened at 9:45 a.m. for my 2:20 p.m. flight, so I thought the service there was pretty great since it gives me plenty of time to hang out at the lounge here. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up here at the lounge and I'll see you when it's time to board our flight. Hello.
Hello, welcome aboard. Thank you.
17K and 18K will be on the system. Thank you.
Here we are at my seat, which is 18K, towards the back of the business class cabin, and I picked this seat since it's a window seat and also it's towards the back of the cabin, so I thought it would be a little bit quieter as well. I literally can't contain my excitement since this is such a highly anticipated flight, and I'll see you after takeoff. Okay, the flight attendants just came around and my flight attendant made sure to check in with me since I pre-ordered my meals through Book to Cook, which is their pre-order meal service, and they also came around with pre-flight drinks, which I decided to decline since it was just orange juice or champagne, so I decided I'll pass on that. They also came around with hot towels, and now I'll see you all after takeoff. They just turned off the seatbelt sign right after takeoff, and now I believe they'll be coming out with drinks, and then they'll be serving our first meal of the flight. While I'm waiting for the drinks, I think it's time for a seat tour. With this seat, there's more than enough leg room. If I stretch my legs out all the way, I can't even reach the seat in front of me, so that, to me, is just enough space for business class. You really don't need much more. Right off to the left, we have all of our different buttons. We have the Do Not Disturb button, as well as the Flight Attendant Call button, and then all the different buttons that move this chair, which I know we'll be doing later to turn it into a bed. And then right here, we have our different lights. Off to the side here, we have our reading lights, so let's just do a quick click of those. And wow, I didn't realize that they even have different modes so you can increase the brightness. Right here on the edge of the seat we have the coat hanger in case you need that. They also have some storage right here. And right below here we have a vanity mirror. Off to the side we have a little bit more storage. And right here are noise cancelling headphones. And inside of here they have a full water bottle in case you get thirsty during takeoff before they do drink service. And right here to my right back of the seat we have the outlet, and right here we have many different plugs, which is perfect because I'm going to be charging a lot of my camera gear. Overall, this is a fantastic quality seat. I really love all the small details like the vanity mirror, all the different charger ports, as well as the water bottle they give you, which I think is a really nice touch. That way you can drink something during takeoff, since they still actually haven't come around with drinks, but I think they're working on it since it's a full flight. Alright, that is just flawless timing. They just came around with my drink, which is the Midsummer Breeze, which is one of their few mocktails, which I really appreciate since this is my first time on a flight where they actually serve mocktails. Oh, that is delightful. It's just so refreshing. I really appreciate the fact that they make this. It's like a mixture of Sprite as well as apple juice and orange juice, and it's just what I needed for a nice refreshing drink before meal service. To go along with that, they gave me some warm salted nuts, which I'll be enjoying with my drink. They just came around with the start of meal service, and they brought out a salad, which is a grilled shrimp salad, and they also came around with a bread basket, so I had to get their famous garlic bread that I've heard so many people rave about. Alright, to start off, I gotta give our salad a taste. Okay, that is simply fantastic. You got the crisp taste of the mixed greens and it has a nice bitterness. And then you get a burst of juicy, tart flavor from the blackberries. And to round it off, you have a crunchy, crispy, and slightly caramelized walnuts, which just add a perfect sweetness to this overall salad. And this seriously tastes like something you got at a 5-star restaurant. And for the shrimp, well, I'm actually allergic to shrimp, but I'm just gonna share those with my mom since I didn't want to bar the flight crew, and the rest of the salad is delicious. Now I gotta check out that famous garlic bread that everybody's talking about. Okay, let's be honest, I can see what the hype is about. It's just a very light and soft bread, not at all what I was expecting, not crunchy, it's just soft, pillowy, and slightly chewy, and it's just drenched with garlic butter, and I just taste the aroma of the garlic just spreading throughout my mouth. This is a seriously memorable garlic bread. Now that I finished up my salad as well as my garlic bread, my main course should be coming out soon, which is the grilled salmon and yuzu sauce. This is a dish I ordered through Book the Cook, which is their exclusive reserved meal service for premium economy, business class, as well as first class, and you can do this from around 3 months before your flight up until 24 hours before your flight. And what's great about this is they give you a variety of dishes that you can normally not get in a normal in-flight meal, and these are exclusive dishes that you can pre-order, so I have a feeling this is going to be a delicious main course. I was just looking at the in-flight menu before the flight got started, so if you don't do Book the Cook, they got you covered because the in-flight menu is just like a food novel. They just got so many different dishes to choose from, and you're gonna have one delicious gourmet experience in the sky with Singapore Airlines. Alright, they just brought out my main course, and I decided to order this because we're going to Japan, and this is the one Japanese option they have on the Book the Cook menu. So here we go. I gotta go in for a taste of our salmon because it also comes with some steamed vegetables as well as rice. Oh, that is just masterfully done. It is like a salt grilled salmon, so it's very salty and flavorful. And the yuzu sauce is very light and citrusy. I love the taste of yuzu, which has a really unique taste. It's almost like a cross between an orange and a lemon, and it just adds this really light citrusy fragrance that's just so pleasing on the tongue. I mean, to be honest, this is better than the salmon my mom even makes at home. Shh, don't tell her. Now I'll go for some of the steamed veggies. Oh, the eggplant is amazing. It's just buttery smooth and it literally melts in your mouth. And now for the rice. Wow, that's delicious. The rice is just lightly flavored with a little bit of herbs, and it's just so pleasing. It's just perfectly cooked through because it's soft and slightly chewy, and this is how you do a delicious fish meal in the sky, because I know fish is not easy to put on an airplane, but man, Singapore Airlines knows how to do it right. Alright, I just finished up that meal. It was delicious, and now they brought out dessert. I decided to go for the cheese plate as well as the cheesecake. Alright, I'll be starting off with the cheesecake, which comes with a blueberry sauce. Oh, that cheesecake is sure to bring a smile to your face. It just tastes like a key lime pie. It's just like a creamy, limey, and zesty cheesecake. It's so rich, and on the bottom you have a graham cracker crust, which pairs perfectly with the sweet and slightly tart blueberry sauce. I love that there's whole blueberries in there, which gives it a really nice juicy texture and flavor. Now I'm gonna move on to this cheese plate. It comes with 3 cheeses, a soft cheese, a firm cheese, as well as a blue cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the soft cheese first. Oh, that is a beautiful brie cheese. It's so rich and creamy. It melts on your tongue. I love the rind as well because it kind of has a concentrated flavor, and it's just so savory and pleasing, and it's a really nice way to end off such a huge feast. But I still got 2 more cheeses to try. Next, I gotta check out the firm cheese. Oh, that's got a very firm and crumbly texture. It tastes like a smoked Parmesan cheese, and I just really love that smoky taste, but it's not too overwhelming either. Now I'm gonna go for the blue cheese. Oh, that is delicious. Typically, I'm not a blue cheese person, but that one is amazing. That one also tastes smoked, which I think really covers up sort of the blue cheese funk. So it really doesn't taste blue cheesy. It just tastes very strong and salty. So you definitely gotta enjoy it with some of the crackers as well as some of the grapes. But to be honest, the first two cheeses were quite mild. So honestly, I might just eat them plain and save the crackers as well as the other sides just for the blue cheese. Finally, to end off a meal, I got a cup of the 1837 black tea by TWGT, which is Singapore's luxury tea brand, and I want to say it's almost like the Louis Vuitton of tea because it's ultra premium and fancy, so I have a feeling it's going to be a delicious drink just to finish off this huge meal. Oh, that is incredible. That might just be the best tea I've ever had on a plane. I just got it black, so I could really taste it in its true form, and it just has such a rich flavor. It almost tastes like a mixture of blackberries, vanilla, and honey, and it almost has a light, natural sweetness to it. This was one over-the-top and ridiculous and delicious meal. I think the service was what made it really impressive. After every single course, they made sure to clear all the utensils as well as any of the used plates. So really, they were on top of everything, and they were also just coming around constantly to refill beverages. Anyways, I gotta hurry up and finish up since they're setting up the cabin now for bedtime. Right after meal service, my flight attendant came over and asked if I wanted to have my bed made, so I said yes, and she made my bed in just a matter of minutes, and by the time I got back from the bathroom, my bed was already made, so I really love the service you get on Singapore Airlines. For the Layflat bed, you kind of have to angle yourself sideways. That's the way the seat is designed. So you kind of have to go at a diagonal angle versus straight on like this, because as you can see, I just won't have enough leg room. So you just tuck in to the right corner, and honestly, it's still very comfortable. I know some people complain about it, but for me, it really works. When they make the bed for you, they lay out a really nice thick and padded blanket. They also give you not one, but 2 pillows. Also, I want to mention that they give you a pair of socks, and they will also bring you an amenity kit on request if you ask for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and see what that looks like. Okay, I literally just called for the flight attendant, and it literally took her 5 seconds to come to my seat, and then when she got the amenity kit, it only took about like an extra 30 seconds, so seriously, the service here is just ridiculously fast. This is what the amenity kit's looking like. It's a beautiful Le Labo fabric bag, and let's see what's inside. First off, we have a little bit of hand lotion, as well as what appears to be maybe a shower cap. I'm honestly not really sure what this is. And finally, you receive some lip balm as well as facial mist. Okay, that is a great amenity kit, and I'm looking forward to trying out some of the amenities later, and I think it was really well put together. Now I wanted to briefly show you the in-flight entertainment. Currently I have our screen set to the map, which is a must for me because it gives you all the flight information as well as where you are on your journey. To control the main screen, use this little controller, which thankfully has a small touch screen as well as various arrow controls that you can use as well. And in case you're wondering, they have some of the most movies and TV shows that I've ever seen on any airline. I mean, look at all these different categories. They have New on Chris World, Film Festival Favorites, Hollywood Spotlight, and just so much more. Okay, now I think I'm gonna try and do my best to get a little bit of rest since I did have to wake up at 2 a.m. today in order to catch this flight. Originally, I did want to have a snack mid-flight since they have full-on huge meals as a mid-flight snack. I mean, I could order something like a noodle soup with Chinese greens and braised pork, but unfortunately, I'm too full, and I think I'm also a little bit too tired in order to fully enjoy that, and I'm just gonna have to wait to eat until the second and final meal of our flight. Anyways, good night, and I'll see you for our second and final meal. Hello everyone, good morning or good evening, whatever you want to call it, since our flight actually lands around 5:30 p.m. today. That was by far the best rest I've ever had on any flight in my entire life. I'm telling you, business class makes all the difference. I slept on and off for the first 3 hours after the meal, because there was a little bit of turbulence. It wasn't too bad. And then I slept for 4 hours straight, and now it's about 2.5 hours from landing, and they're just about to serve the final meal of the flight, which I'm really looking forward to. I was just woken up by the flight attendant who was handing out hot towels, and then I went up to the bathroom just to clean up before setting up all my camera gear, and the meal still hasn't come out yet, so I really appreciate they give you some time to get yourself together before just serving the meal right away. Meal service today starts with the smoked salmon salad, and it also comes with the bread basket, so of course I had to choose the garlic bread one more time. Let's start off with the salad, which comes with a nice looking vinaigrette. This is a little bit different than your typical smoked salmon. This definitely tastes like a cooked salmon that's been smoked, so it's different than your just raw smoked salmon. I still really enjoy it. It's soft, flaky, and juicy. And then you have all the fresh salad greens, basically the same mixed greens we had earlier, which I love. Just the natural, fresh, crisp taste of the lettuce, which I find really impressive, but somehow they keep it fresh on a plane, and the bitterness is just so pleasant. And don't think I forgot about the garlic bread. Alright, it's almost time for the main course, which is the Singaporean chicken rice. This is one of the most famous dishes on Singapore Airlines, and I could see why, since chicken rice is known as the national dish of Singapore. This is the chicken rice. It looks like a poached chicken, and it's in some sort of sweet sauce, and then it's also served with chicken flavored rice, which is rice cooked in chicken stock, and then it comes with 3 sauces. You got the classic dark sauce, as well as the ginger sauce in the back, and they also give you a little bit of chili sauce. I'm going to go ahead and start by trying the chicken just on its own plain. Whoa, that is incredible. That's got to be the best and juiciest chicken I've ever had on a plane. It just tastes like the chicken has been cooked in a sweet and savory ginger sauce. I taste a little bit of oyster sauce in there for some added richness and depth of flavor, and I can't wait to check out the other dipping sauces on the side. I'm going to start off with the dark soy sauce. Oh my gosh, that is just ridiculous. That is unlike any soy sauce I've had before. It's just got such a rich, dark, earthy flavor. It tastes like a heavily and darkly aged soy sauce. It just has this really unique, earthy, and almost mushroomy taste from all the fermented soybeans, and that is just out of this world. This has got to be the most authentic, and honestly, probably the first authentic Singaporean chicken rice I've ever had, and this is ridiculous. This is fantastic 5-star plane food. Now let's just go ahead and go for a dip in our ginger sauce as well. Unbelievable. That just tastes like fresh ginger sauce that they literally just grated on a plane. It's honestly unbelievable, and the fact that this food is this good. I mean, it literally tastes like this meal was prepared and cooked fresh on a plane, which I know they actually don't do, but somehow they managed to pull it off. And that ginger sauce is just so zesty and fresh, and there's something that tastes so good about ginger, especially on a flight. And finally, let's try our chicken with the chili sauce. Oh, that just tastes like a fresh, zesty, and pureed fresh chili sauce. So you definitely gotta be careful because it is spicy. Honestly, that might be the spiciest thing I've ever eaten on a plane, but if you just get a little dip, it's the perfect complement to the delicate taste of the chicken, and that is sure to waken you up from your deep sleep. And finally, don't think I forgot about the rice eater, and I wish I discovered this little stand earlier that barely fits my camera. It's a little bit precarious, but hopefully this is a better angle for you guys for the very end of the meal. So let's get on to that chicken rice. Oh, that is just fantastic. Seriously, this food just never disappoints. The rice is just cooked in a chicken broth just like I thought, and it's just like cooked with all the flavor and richness of the meat of the chicken as well as the fat of the chicken, but it's not too heavy or overwhelming either, and it's perfectly moist and tender and fluffy and light and not mushy at all. Now, I'm just gonna go to town and finish up this chicken rice. dessert is here, and I ordered the chocolate mocha cake, which is the one dessert option, and I also ordered the Silver Moon tea, once again by TWGT, since I already can't get enough of TWGT. This chocolate mocha cake just looks so beautifully presented. You got a little bit of chocolate cake on the bottom, and then some sort of maybe mocha cream on top. Oh my gosh, that is more of like a chocolate tart, and that is fantastic. You got a really sharp, crispy chocolate crust, and then you have the rich chocolate ganache filling, and then I was right, it is topped with a little bit of mocha cream, which is amazing. It's really not bitter. They just managed to take the essence from the coffee and just make this a really delightful dessert, because I don't even usually like mocha desserts, but this is probably the first mocha dessert I've had in a long time. It's really delicious because it's not bitter at all. Now I just gotta chase that with some luxurious Silver Moon tea. Oh man, that Silver Moon tea is the perfect complement. The other thing I gotta mention is that I love Singapore Airlines serves their tea nice and hot, but not nuclear hot, because as soon as they serve it, you just let the tea bag steep for a couple of minutes, and then it's perfect drinking temperature, and the Silver Moon tea is just exquisite. I can't quite pinpoint the flavor, but it's just got this light, delightful fruitiness that pairs so nicely, especially with like a chocolate dessert like this, and I could just have another cup of tea and honestly another dessert because it's that good, but I'm not gonna do that. That was one epic way to finish off my final meal and the end of my journey on Singapore Airlines from Los Angeles to Tokyo. Anyways, that being said, I'll see you all after landing to go over my final thoughts on this experience, as well as how I booked this incredibly low fare. Thank you so much. Now that I'm finally back home from my flight, let me first explain how I booked this ticket, because no, I did not pay the full fare of the nearly $4,100. Instead, I booked this ticket for 103,500 KrisFlyer miles, as well as like 20-something US dollars in taxes and fees. To start, around 5 months ago, my dad and I made KrisFlyer accounts for the whole family. From there, we went onto the Singapore Airlines website, and then we searched for award availability, and somehow we were able to find award availability for May 26, which was only around 5 months out from that date. Then we transferred points from the American Express Platinum card, which thankfully transferred instantly, which made everything super easy. All we had to do is log back into our accounts, search for the same award flight, and then book the tickets. And that being said, it's actually a miracle that we were able to book tickets, because afterwards we were doing some of our own independent research, and between December of 2024 and now, which is June of 2025, we've just been taking a look at the Singapore Airlines website and looking at award availability for this route from Los Angeles to Tokyo Narita, and you really need to give yourself around 8 to 12 months to find award availability, since it is a packed route. So it's seriously amazing that we actually found anything within 5 months. So if you're really serious about doing this trip, I would really give yourself at best around 10 to 12 months in advance, and then you should be able to secure a spot. Now that you know how I paid for this fare, let me give you my final thoughts and whether I think it was worth it or not. So first off, the check-in experience at the airport was amazing. The lady working at the front desk was very helpful, and there was very little line at all since I basically got there when the counters opened at LAX. Now for the lounge experience, well, I'll be honest, on this route I thought the lounge experience was quite disappointing since in my opinion, the Star Alliance lounge at LAX is not really it. I mean, atmosphere is decent, but I really can't say I'm a fan of the food since it's very limited and the quality is, let's just say, not so great. That being said, for this route and the amount of time the flight is, do I think lounge access is really necessary? No, not really. Let me explain why. The real reason why is because the food on the flight was very good. I mean, I was impressed by the quality of everything I ordered. I don't think there was a single dish on this flight that I did not enjoy. I mean, I had 2 full meals and I even passed up on the mid-flight snack, which was basically like a third meal, so I'm telling you, no matter what, you will not go hungry on this flight. Now for the seat quality, while it wasn't a fully enclosed suite like many of the new business class configurations on other airlines, I still found the seat to be very comfortable and I was able to sleep very well. I mean, to me, the part of the flight that stood out the most was the service. The service was fantastic and was the best service I've ever had on a flight. One example of this is when I ordered tea with my second meal. At the time, I pressed the flight attendant call button, and since the flight attendant assigned to me was busy, another flight attendant answered the call. So I'm telling you, they just work in sync with each other and everything flows really smoothly. The flight attendant that I called came over within around 10 seconds, and then he took my tea order very quickly, and I'm not even joking. He was literally back within 30 seconds with my piping hot cup of tea. I told him, wow, that was so fast, and he just chuckled and said, that is Singapore Airlines efficiency. So I'm telling you, they really pride themselves on their high quality service and efficiency, and it's easy to see why. So do I think Singapore Airlines business class is worth it when you're booking with points? Absolutely. Every single time I will say yes. I mean, their hard product may not be the most outstanding, like the seat. I mean, it's good, it's comfortable, but it's not really cutting edge like some of the other airline suites. However, their soft product, like their service and their food, is incredible. And I'm telling you, that's what really separates Singapore Airlines from the rest of the airlines out there. Now, do I think it's worth it to pay out of pocket for this business class? I would say if you do have the budget for business class, yes, but if you can, I highly recommend trying to figure it out and book it with points because it just feels so much better and your pocketbook will definitely thank you later. That being said, I really hope you all enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Make sure if you did, give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the first video of the Japan series.